Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a phenomenal day of really exciting content about the future of banking and fintech. And we've heard all these incredible possibilities and ideas. But there's another side to the story. We know that McKinsey say that 79% of all digital transformation projects are failing to deliver. We know that $800 billion a year of IT investment is wasted. And the bulk of that is because our leaders and managers don't understand the world we're moving into, they don't understand the technologies, and they don't know how to deliver it. So our challenge is, how do you leave this room today with all of your excitement about fintech and actually start to transform your organizations? And that's where I want to focus. So I want you to start by not thinking about fintech, but actually to think about our world and how it might change. Imagine it's February the 21st, 2024. You're at home watching a film set in New Zealand. You're mind blown by what you see. And your artificial intelligence, as we heard today, is monitoring you. It's monitoring your heart, it's monitoring your breathing. The TV is monitoring your eyeballs, your microfacial expressions. And together they decide that you're excited and that you want to go to New Zealand. So by the end of the film, your AI has compiled for you a 90-second video of all the highlights of what you might see when you go to Japan. You add a few requirements, you send it to your friends, you say, would you like to come with me on this trip? They add their requirements, your AI compiles a request for proposals and puts that out to what are called travel concierges now. They used to be travel agents. They come back to you with a proposal with hotels, leisure experiences, everything. But it's not a written proposal, it's not a video proposal, it's a multi-sensory proposal. So you can smell the flower gardens they want you to visit. You can taste the very best sushi in the restaurants they're recommending. And you can feel the bed linens in the restaurant. You make, in the hotel. You make your choices, and then your AI negotiates the best price for you. Now we wind forward to the day of travel. You've decided that you're not taking luggage. You're going to have it 3D printed and waiting for you on arrival. All the clothes that you want. You're also a very busy person, so you've booked the unmanned vehicle, the autonomous vehicle from the airport that's going to take you there. And in the car, you're scanned, and all your passport checks are done, but you're running late. So you authorize the car to bid to the cars in front of you to get out of your way. You make it to the airport, you drive straight onto the tarmac, the side of the plane, you get onto the plane. On the plane, you're served food that your AI has negotiated with the airline to provide you because it's good for you. We get to the other end, you check into the hotel with your face, you check in and out of your bedroom with your face, the minibar has the food that you best need. As you travel around New Zealand, you're talking in your own native language, your AI is translating for you, you pay for everything with your face. When you get home, the goods you purchased are waiting for you. And of course, you make that journey by supersonic travel. So you're doing from here, Bahrain to New Zealand in 4 hours. Now what's really interesting is how you paid for it. You paid part in cash, part in air miles, part in store points, part in taking the heat that you generate from your body that's captured on the plane. The airline gives you credits for that. Your motion through the airport, the same. You've also sold the right to have your experience captured. Your emotions, your visual signals, everything is captured and therefore sold to people who can't afford to make that journey. And you get a small amount of revenue back. All of those are tokens in the way you're going to pay in the future. That is a phenomenally different world. And the interesting thing is that the only one of those technologies that I've talked about that isn't available today or about to come to market is supersonic flight. And Boom are bringing that back in 2 years. So we have to understand how the world is changing in order to talk about the kind of ways in which we want to evolve our bank. So how is that world changing? What we know is there are a whole set of science and technology advances that are moving at an exponential pace. They are being pulled together by artificial intelligence, and really at the heart of this story is digital. And what we see is, we heard a lot about digital today, but there is a transformation happening on the planet. The 5 most valuable companies today on the US stock market are all digital companies. That has never happened before in history, where the most valuable companies come from one sector, where whatever you do, a digital company benefits. A phone call, a journey, an email, a digital company benefits. We've never had that before for those sectors. But to put it in context, in August last year, Amazon became a $1 trillion company, and so did Apple. To put that in context, that means that they were worth more than Volkswagen, Boeing, Bank of America, Walt Disney, 21st Century Fox, Western Union, Hilton, and Ford together, and all these other companies. You put them together, you still don't get one Apple or one Amazon. That is a phenomenal shift that tells us the direction of travel, that we have to become digital. And with digital comes some new behaviors. Let's call them new animals in the marketplace. The first are the aliens. The aliens deliberately talk a language that no one else understands. Less than 1% of the people on this planet understand AI, cryptocurrency, blockchain, tokenization, blah, blah, blah. So one of the biggest opportunities we have as a bank is to actually be the translation layer to the market, to help our customers and our partners understand this stuff. The second are much more fun, they're the magicians. This company, Trove, is an insurance company, and basically they modeled themselves on Tinder and the dating apps. If you want to start insuring your camera when you take it out of the safe, you swipe right. When you want to stop insuring, you swipe left. We're no longer buying insurance as a just-in-case model. We understand the millennial generation, and we're creating products around them. And the third groups are the scariest for all of us. They're the barbarians, because they don't care what damage they do. This is an insurance company, again, from Holland, called Teambrella. It has no employees. It exists entirely in software, in artificial intelligence on the blockchain. When I want to be insured, I join, I'm put in an insurance pool. If any of us have a claim, we collectively agree what the claim is worth, and at the end of the year, if there's any money in our pool, we get it back. The insurance company doesn't keep the premium, they just charge a transaction fee. So we see three very different types of innovation that are happening with digital, and the question for us is, what do we want to be? An alien interpreter, a creator of magic, or a barbarian? And how are we going to respond when they come towards us? So what do we do about this? How do we start to respond to that world that we're moving into? And the first thing is about our top teams. When we go away from here, what do? We've got to start that process of changing mindsets. So we have to start by taking our top team, our leaders, our top 200, and really doing a deep immersion with them. 2 or 3 days of really helping them understand these technologies, the new possibilities, how the world is changing. Then we have to send them out into the world to go and visit these new companies and learn for themselves how they think, what their mindset is, what their business model is, how they're using these technologies. The best way of people learning is by touching and feeling these businesses. And then the third stage is to create project teams where you mix marketing, operations, finance, and technology, and you send them out to learn different aspects of the future. What are the different scenarios for financial services? What is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? What is AI? What does it mean to move to an open banking model? What new business models are possible? How might we make money in a world where we're virtually giving our products and services away? And they bring those ideas back into the organization. The next thing then is raising our digital literacy, really putting the effort in so that across our business, our people not only understand the technologies they're using today, but also understand what's coming and how they can leverage it to maximize performance in the future. The next piece then is to take those ideas from the teams that have gone out and start some innovation, because we learn fastest by doing things. What kind of innovation? Well, firstly, it's creating rapid internal projects to test out ideas and to see where our pain points are. How do we get the data out of our current systems? How do we integrate this new stuff with our existing systems? To really learn quickly where our problem areas are so we can create the foundations for the future. The other piece is investing in lots of startups. Not worrying about the cost as an investment, but treating it as a learning investment to accelerate our understanding of how these businesses work and how we can integrate them or work with them. The next piece is this idea of integrating with the market. If financial services are going to be embedded in everything, when I pay for an airfare and I can add an extra 10 dinar to round up to putting into a savings account, or when I buy furniture, I can add a little bit of money to pay off a loan. We need to start talking to those players in those sectors, having deep dives with them, a facilitated discussion about how this technology enables new possibilities, and then creating very carefully crafted experiments with them. And then the final piece is about inclusion. And it's great to talk about financial inclusion because it's a very important and very essential thing. But what we consider financial inclusion today may be very different in 2, 3, 5, or 10 years' time as the new sectors come through. We know that today the global economy is about $80 trillion. Within the next 7 to 10 years, it should become something like $120 trillion. More than 50% of that will come from industries and businesses that have either just been born or don't yet exist. And that's where the jobs will be created for the people we're talking about creating inclusion for. So we have to have a really good understanding of the world we're moving into, and our role as a bank in helping facilitate the new economy, and therefore facilitating the jobs and then facilitating the financial inclusion. They go together, and that means a deep insight into the world and how it's changing, and a real commitment to dialogue with the people we're trying to include in order to create those solutions. So we're really at an interesting challenge point. There's phenomenal opportunity out there with fintech. There's also phenomenal risk with all the numbers we see about the failure of digital transformation. At the heart of success is the investment we make in our leaders and our managers and our staff in terms of their understanding and their curiosity about a changing world, their digital literacy, and their ability to understand and create the future. We make that investment first. Our digital programs are going to go much faster than we think, and we're going to be much happier, and our investors are going to be happier. The author Graham Greene says there comes a time when you have to open the door and let the future in. I believe that the reason you're all here in this room is the door is very firmly open for you, and I hope through all the presentations you've heard today, we've given you some ideas about how to walk through that door and how to take advantage of what sits on the other side. Thank you.
Great. Rohit, thank you.